Oh, she'll be back. Welcome to the Social Media Mastery Webinar. I'm your host, Bubby Garner, and I'd like to introduce y'all to my mentor and sponsor, Dorico Cherry. Dorico, won't you say hi?
Hey, what's going on, Bubby, man? Thanks for having me on here tonight.
As y'all can hear, poor Dorico's been suffering with a sore throat now for going on 2 whole weeks.
Yeah.
It just won't seem to leave him. And
yeah, I need to go to the doctor and get it checked out, but you know.
So you got to work, and I know how that is. Yep. I'd like to say hey to everybody. Hey, Judy, Dorico, Bubby, Susan. It's a pleasure to meet y'all, or everybody else will be coming in just a minute, but I'm not going to hold the people that are here up. It's Father's Day. People are out on vacation. I've been getting a couple of messages. I'm not home yet, but I mean, I just can't wait and hold everybody else up. Susan, how was your Father's Day? Judy, how was your Father's Day? The chat's enabled. We can talk to one another if y'all would like. Did y'all have a good weekend? Did you get some work done at home? Because I know most of the time, if you're like me, the work when you're off, you're working at home. You worked out today, Dorico?
No, actually I didn't. I took the day off, went out, hung out with my pops, and hung out at my parents' house, and I didn't do too much of nothing today.
I called mine. He don't particularly care for company too much.
Nice. Where's everybody logging in from? I see Judy on here and Susan. Judy, where you coming in from today?
I'm from Louisiana.
And I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina.
North Carolina. That's my dream state. I want to move to North Carolina.
Come on, we'd love to have you. Judy, Susan, where were you ladies from? So they're going to talk.
I think they're shy.
That's okay. They'll warm up to us eventually.
I got some people asking for the link now. I'm going to be covering time management today. I think I misspelled. Trying to hurry up. And I'm going to show how there's no such thing. And we're going to be getting started here just as soon as I type that in. The rest of them, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to hold Judy and Susan up. If it's a one-person show, it's a one-person show. All right. So time management. Can y'all see my screen?
Yep, sure can.
All right. Time management. Finding time to fulfill your vision. Now, notice on the on that right there, it says time management, finding time to fulfill your vision. All right. It don't say finding time to get your post done. It don't say finding time to write my blog. It doesn't say find time to do anything else other than fulfill your vision, because all of the 6-7 figure earners that I study under, they all teach one thing, is that you don't have, if your goals do not consist of accomplishing towards your vision, then you're not going to ever achieve it. You'll look at one milestone and say that's far enough most of the time. But I got a question: are you today where you thought you would be when you started? I began almost 7 months ago, and it took me roughly 4 months, 5 months before I finally met a sponsor who cared enough to take his time out, even during his busy schedule during the day, to talk to me, to help me with my questions, to guide me in the directions, to spank my tail when it needed to be spanked, and tell me the truth, even though it hurt my feelings sometimes. And I wish I would have found Dorico Cherry in the very beginning when I started. And late December and early January, because then I would not have had about 4 months worth of struggle that I went through, or I still would have had a struggle, but it wouldn't have been as hard for me to have tried to figure this out all by myself until I finally met a man who cared enough to help me. And that's what we're both doing here tonight. Due to his diligence and his persistence and his love for helping people, I'm here tonight. And together we reach out and with Social Media Mastery and try to help as many people who want it, need it, and will accept it. So we're asking today, are you where you thought you would be when you started your home business? If the answer is no, then what I want you to do is stick around until the end, because I have some insane bonuses that can help move you towards your vision, towards your to accomplish what you started in your home business immediately. And I'm going to prove to yourself how bad you want your goals and dreams to come true. Turn off your Facebook right now. You're going to see me. You can see my screen. I'm going to reach up here and I'm turning off my Facebook and I'm turning off my YouTube. And I have nothing open now except for what has to be done with the social media mastery. Why? Because y'all are who is important to me right now. All right. And prove to yourself how bad you want your goals. Prove to yourself how bad you want to reach your dreams and to make them come true. And turn off that distraction. Turn off if you're sitting there with it open, you'll be waiting for a message to come in, or you'll be waiting for a tweet to come in. And right now, this is the single most important thing that you can focus on, because nothing else matters but moving towards your dreams and goals. Who am I? I'm somebody with the answers. I'm someone who signs up at least one person to my primary business every 3 days. Let me do the math for you. One person every 3 days, residual of $100 per sign up. That's 10 people a month. That's $100 residual added to my bank account every month now, because of the training that I have received and the help and the mentorship from Dorico Cherry. I am now to the point where this is a reality to me. There was one point in my online career where I could not find a lead, might less even considered signing somebody up. And today I look back and I'm like, wow. And I remember one message whenever I just was so frustrated and wanted to give up. And he goes, Bubby, you're just experiencing growing pains. If you just go for a walk, take a deep breath, relax, get away from your computer, and everything's going to be okay. And I did what he said. And an hour or so later when I came back, I felt recharged and ready to take on the internet world and move forward. And due to that diligence, that's the results right there. I'm averaging at this moment one person every 3 days. That's going to equal $100 residual per sign up. 10 people a month is $1,000 residual added to my bank account every month. So I believe that if somebody would have been holding a webinar, and they were, I just didn't know about it, and they told me turn my Facebook chat off so that I could pay attention and I could have these same results, I would have done it. I'm somebody who understands you don't have time to waste. Chances are you're looking at your situation and you're going, I need to make money right now. I don't have time to waste, Bubby. Bring it to me. Give it to me raw if I need to. I got steel-toe boots on. Just tell me what I got to do to move forward in my home business. And that's why I'm here to do. So I'm going to ask you again. So turn off your Facebook, close down the Twitter tab, get out your pen and paper and get ready. When you see that money sign, that is exactly what it means. That's the money slide. Whatever's going to be written on that slide, when you see these $2 signs or a dollar sign, that's money for you. You need to pick up the pen and paper, rub the sleep out of your eyes, because you probably ate good today for Father's Day and you're tired, but make sure to write down what you see on that slide. Meditate on it. Get it in your spirit and get ready to implement it starting tomorrow and start seeing some results in your home business. So if you understand what I'm saying, I'm giving you a warning. Get ready. The next slide is a money slide. So you should be able to get a pen and paper and write this down. If I'm not making money after tonight, it's my own damn fault. Write that down, because that's reality. If you're not making money after tonight's lesson, it's your own damn fault. Because I'm going to give it to you just like I'm doing it. And if you implement what I share with you, you cannot help but get to the same destination if we're on the same road. So if you're failing, why are you failing in your home business? I'm going to go backwards here. And number 4 is people who fail in their home business are not using the right tools. I talk to people online, and during the discussion, I ask them, what do they need? And what would they need help with? And they say, I need leads. 90% of the people need leads. So, as I dig deeper into what the situation is that they're struggling and need help with, I find out that they don't have the tools necessary, that if they were presented with 50 leads today, what would you do with them? In the home business industry online, there is a process, and you must have the right tools in order to complete the task. Now, prior to my experience in the home business industry, I was a pipe fitter, but I didn't show up on the job one day and they decided, hey man, we're going to pay Bubby top dollar. I went to school twice a week at night, away from my family, and for 5 years, night school, to become a certified pipe fitter. And during that time, I worked during the day, and I accumulated over that span of time the tools that pipe fitters used on the job to complete the task. Now, once the 5 years was up and my schooling was up and I understood what I was doing and I had the right tools, they started paying me top dollar, $28, $30 an hour. But even today, even with my knowledge, if I showed up on a construction field and I say I'm a pipe fitter, they're going to say, well, where's your toolbox? And I'm saying, well, I don't have any tools. Well, then you can't get paid if you don't have tools. You have to have the tools to accomplish your mission, your task. And if you can't accomplish your task, you can't get paid. So not only is education important, not only is getting at the feet of internet marketing masters important, it's also important to, along your journey, pick up the tools that you're going to need to be successful. And that's where a lot of people miss the mark. They don't have the proper mentorship. So many people I talk to today, when I get into it with them and I'm diagnosing what the situation is in a coaching call, what it really boils down to is, it's not that they're struggling to get leads or they can't make a sign up. What they do, they don't have a mentor. They don't have somebody that they can go to and talk with and discuss what the situation is and find out an answer from a qualified individual who's already paved the road, and I'm just supposed to walk down it. A lot of people don't have that today. And Dorico's here. He'll tell you how many times did I message Dorico in my beginning when I first met him. And I say, I'm chatting with somebody and they just asked me this. And Dorico would come online and he'd say, well, tell them that. So I'd type it in. And boy, when they responded, I would get all excited. And I said, Dorico, they said this. And Dorico I said, what do I say? Help. And Dorico would say, well, when they ask you this, you tell them, you stray away from what your business is because it's not about you, Bubby. You're trying to help them. So I'm like, okay, so I'd do that. And then a day or two later, I'd have somebody else I was talking to. My point is this. I didn't know how to talk to people. And there's a lot of network marketers out there. You may be one of them who you're lost because you have no mentor. You're lost because when people want to talk to you, the only thing you know to do is to show your link and tell them about your business, and you don't understand the actual process of how to prospect an individual and cause them to desire to want to join you. You're missing that mentorship, but you're going to get it tonight. The third reason, or number 2 reason most people fail in their home business is that they're selfish. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean that, well, yeah, it does really mean that you're thinking about yourself and not the individual. But in this particular case, when I say that the people who fail in their home business are selfish, it means that their why isn't strong enough. And something else that they are desiring at the moment pulls them in a direction, and they're easily led that way because their desire at the moment is stronger than their why. And at that moment in time, that individual is selfish. It may be the fact that their favorite TV show's on, and they know that they are responsible. They have a responsibility to fulfill in their home business. But since their favorite TV show is on, they want to watch it. And then something else comes up after that. And then the next thing you know, the task doesn't get accomplished. It gets put off, and they're not making sales. They're not getting signups. And it starts off with being selfish in that moment in time because their why. Why did you get started in the home business industry? Why are you doing this every day? Why do you want to succeed so bad isn't strong enough. The desire at this moment in time is stronger than the why. And also the why is misplaced, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But does everybody understand that? Susan, did you catch that? Did you understand how you can be selfish in this moment in time with wanting a desire, and that desire, that what you're wanting at this moment in time is stronger, has a stronger pull on you than your why you started your home business. Therefore, it's stronger than your why, and that's why you're not succeeding. Your tasks aren't getting accomplished. So now we're looking at people who are failing in their home business. They're not using the right tools. They don't have capture pages. They don't have autoresponders. They don't have sales funnels. There are tools necessary in this business to succeed. The third reason, they don't have the proper mentorship. They don't have somebody to explain how to use those tools. The second reason is that they're selfish in that moment in time, and their why isn't strong enough to propel them from the present moment into their vision. And the number one reason why people fail in their home business is because they convince themselves they don't have time. Now I want you to look at that again. People convince themselves they don't have time to do a particular task. Did you get your blog done today? Oh, I didn't have time. Did you get that email wrote today? Well, I didn't have time. Something came up. Did you get your video shot today? Well, I was going to do it, but I didn't have time. So you're convincing yourself that you don't have time. But the fact is, time is present all the time. All right, and watch this next slide. We're fixing to really get into some deep thinking here. There's no such thing as time management. I know we've heard it all of our life that, and you can go online and spend the rest of your life, if you Google time management, and there's over 6 million websites that will tell you how to manage your time. But if you spent your time reading all 6 million articles, that's not good time management. But the fact is, there is no such thing as time management. Time doesn't stop. This is a money sign now. Time doesn't slow down. Time doesn't speed up. And time does not fly by. We use these phrases every day. Boy, time flew by. No, it doesn't. Time went by 1 second at a time. Man, it sped up like you can't believe. It just like went like that. No, it went 1 second at a time. Your perception of time was that it sped up. Your perception of time is that, man, it's taking forever for them to wait on me at this restaurant. Well, it's not taking forever. It's only taking 10 minutes just like it would any other time. But your perception of time is being distorted. And most of the time, it's because of distractions. But what I want you to see in this money sign, write this down and think about it tonight. Meditate on this. Get it in your spirit. That you, Susan, you, Judy, you, Dorico, Bubby, Gunner, Mark, Brittany, you cannot manage time. It's going to go by with or without you. It don't stop. It don't slow down. It doesn't speed up. And time does not fly by. But let me tell you something else about time. You can waste it. You can find it. And you can lose it. But you can't manage it. You can waste time. You have a certain allotted period during the day to get a job accomplished. And you say that from 11 to 1 is my time to work on my blog, but you get to messaging somebody on Facebook, or you get to creating a beautiful image in PicMonkey or Canva or whichever one you use, and the next thing you know, time has what? It's flew by. No, it didn't. Time went by 1 second at a time. I just let distraction come in there. I let the picture and the task of creating this image overtake me, and I lost time. Time was still moving 1 second at a time. All right? You can waste time, you can find time, and you can lose time, but you cannot manage time. And you say, well, Bubby, I mean, that just goes against everything I've ever heard. Yeah, but let me tell you something about the concept of time management. When you talk about managing time, what most people say is, well, I have to learn how to manage my time better. Well, what you've just done is taken the wasting of the time, the losing of the time, or the finding of the time outside of yourself. Because see, then it's some other aspect's fault other than your own as to why the time was wasted. It's some other reason as to why you lost time. But we love to take credit when we find it. Money sign. This one should have had a money sign. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, wow, I should have put a money sign on this one. You can only learn to manage yourself in time. Now think about that. When we discuss time management, we're talking about managing something outside of ourself. But here, if you look at it in this perspective, now what you have to learn to manage is internal. It's yourself that you have to manage. And then that becomes a little bit more difficult because we don't like to be boxed in. We don't like to be told what to do, even if it's us doing the telling to ourselves that we know is better. But are your results showing that you know this? If you're thinking to yourself, well, I understand that, I know this, I know you can't manage time, that you can only manage yourself in time, but does your results show that you understand the concept that you cannot manage time, you can only manage yourself in time? Now, I have a timer sitting right here. It's on a piece of Velcro on my computer monitor, and I got it set for 30 minutes, and when I'm ready to go to work, I click it, and I allot myself 30 minutes for that particular task to create a graph. When I get ready to do my emails, I'll switch it over to an hour and 30 minutes, and I allow myself that time. And I don't allow nothing else to distract me while that clock's ticking and I'm looking, and maybe a message has went off or my iPad has alerted me that I have an email. Now, at one point in my life, when my iPad went bong and it was an email, I'd jump over to my email real quick just to see who it was or what it was. And then what that done was it distracted me from the task that I had set myself to do. And when I went over to the email to check that one email, well, then I noticed, well, shoot, what's these 17 spams in there? So I go to check the spams, and while I'm checking the spams, the message at Facebook goes off. So I shoot over there to see who messaged me. What does Brittany want today? So I click over there to see what Brittany's got to say. And while I'm talking to Brittany, Melissa messages. And while I'm talking to Melissa, I say, oh, I just remembered something I wanted to tell Dorico. And then next thing I know, beep, 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 my timer goes off, and the allotted time to finish my email is over. Now see, that's because I did not manage myself in time. Am I making sense to anybody? Dorico, does this make sense to you?
Yep, it makes perfect sense, Bubby.
You got to learn to manage yourself, because now it becomes internal, and we start having to take accountability for the time that we've lost. Or, and it's not all negative, or we can learn to manage ourselves during the day with each task, and when the day is over with, and we look at what we've accomplished because we've learned to manage ourselves in the time frame that we have. Because some of y'all are stay-at-home moms, and you have to stop what you're doing and take care of your children. All right? I have to go outside and cut the grass. I have to go take my children to the store. And if I have not placed these kind of activities in my management of myself in my work time, then what's going to happen is about 11, when I'm in the middle of a task, my son's going to want to come in and say, Dad, let's do this. And I'll stop and I'll go do it. And what I'm working on now has pushed what my next project was going to be until 5 or 6 things never gets accomplished. And then I'm wondering, and I'm going, man, I have got to start making some money. No, the problem is not getting leads. The problem is not making money. The problem is not signing people up. We all have the same allotted time. We see the little pictures, and I don't remember how many seconds there is in a day. Me and Bill Gates and Oprah Winfrey, and we all have 38,000 something seconds in a day, and it all determines on what we do with it. Well, that's fine, and I can appreciate that Bill Gates and Oprah may have the same amount of seconds in the day that I have, but they don't understand the what's the word I'm looking for? Responsibility that I have to raise my children. They don't understand that I got to go down to the school and volunteer at my son's classroom to pass out cupcakes because I want to be there for my children. Well, no, see, you're missing the point. Bill Gates and Oprah Winfrey and all of them may not have that particular distraction or breaking in their schedule, but here's what they've done. They've allowed time for those things, and that's where you may be falling short tonight. If you're finding that there's just some reason, everybody knows if you don't know this, how many people know that every 5 and 6 figure earner, if you was at my last webinar, you know, every 5 and 6 figure earner routine says create one piece of content every single day. Create a blog report, a video, an article for article distribution, some type of content, a Pinterest pin, something, wherever you like to market. You have to produce a piece of content every day, and over the course of 90 days, when people start becoming familiar with you, this is how you establish your presence online and your authority online, and people start coming to you for answers. Now, I explained this in my last webinar. That was the #1 principle or routine of 5 and 6 figure earners. They produce content. Now, I network with 20 people a day. That is my goal. I do not let nothing get in the way of that. However, and I teach my people that are under me to do the same thing. Yet when I ask, well, how many people did you talk to? 4. I say, 4? Well, I didn't have what? Time. Yes, you did. You just let distractions get in the way. And that's my next part here. Watch this. It's a money sign. You must, if you can only learn to manage yourself in time, you will be successful. But to manage yourself in time, you have to defeat distractions. You have to remove, for an allotted period of time, the things that will be distracting to you. For example, right now, I'm not going to lie to you, my telephone is on. Now, I never let that happen. However, my daughter is needing to call me because we're having a family situation that's an emergency, and she may need to get in touch with me while I'm doing this webinar. So I have my phone on. That's an emergency. All right. However, on any other given day, my phone's turned off. Rather, I'm holding the webinar or I'm sitting in our weekly Wednesday webinar for My Lead System Pro. The telephone goes off. Facebook gets turned off. Twitter gets shut down. Nothing else matters. I'm focused for a 2-hour period that I have allotted for my training or to train people. So I shut down the Facebook tab. I shut down the Twitter and the YouTube tab. I closed my door and I let everybody know. Believe me, everybody in my house knows. Where's your daddy? Oh, he's in his office right now. He's working. You know, because he's working. And you have to understand that that's what you're doing. You work from home. This is not your hobby. This is what you are trying to create a future for your family with. And Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and the dog. Just like one time somebody told me the dog was having an anxiety attack. I said, well, put it outside. You're letting that distraction stop you from accomplishing a task. So put the dog outside. If it's for an hour, and finish your task, and then let the anxiety-filled dog back in. But you got to defeat the distractions. You got to recognize what is distracting you, what is stopping you during this time period, and either remove it or work yourself around it. Now, I got one question. It's a one-question test. It's a pass or fail. And this is going to let you know. Remember in the beginning when I said that if you don't make money today or tomorrow, starting tonight, then it's your own damn fault. Watch what. Here's the test. We're going to see if you pass or fail it. Are you ready? Is your Facebook tab on right now? When the webinar started, did you leave your Facebook tab on and ask yourself why? It's a distraction, people. When you are in your learning mode, shut everything out. When you are in your work mode, when you know, my family knows, I go in there and I'll kiss my wife, or I'll let them know, okay, babe, I'm fixing to start working on my emails. Do you need anything before I get started? Or I know you may have young children and they have to be put down for a nap, and so you allot that time to play with them. And so you schedule your blog writing during the time of their naps, not while they're up playing, because it's going to be a distraction to you. And whenever you get ready to sit down at your desk or your coffee table or wherever you work, you want a comfortable environment that you can focus in and get your mindset on accomplishing the task. Don't let distractions defeat you. Defeat the distractions. And you do that by making a schedule, and you learn to manage yourself in that time frame that you have allotted. So did you pass or fail? I'm wondering. Just type it in the chat. I can't see it, but you know, I'm just kind of curious. How many people in the beginning, when I said turn off the Facebook, did you just leave it on and let it continue to be the distraction to you? Don't confuse. All right, you can only learn to manage yourself in time by remembering your why. Now, everybody stop for a second and write down, $! Write this down. What is your why? I know what I hear most of the day. Oh, well, I want to spend more time with my kids. And I used to buy that for a little while on the why until a 6- and 7-figure earner told me that that's not a strong enough why. We need to get deeper than that. You make your people get deeper with that. Whenever they're telling you that they want to spend time with their kids, ask them why. Why do you want to spend more time with your kids? And what do you want to do with them in that time that you're spending with them? And if you notice, you see the family at the beach. Those are starting to become more focused whys, and a vision can begin to be created. I want to spend more time with my kids. Well, that could be at home. And then I found out that a lot of people, whenever I'd ask them what's their why, and they say, I want to spend more time with my kids. Well, your kid is 3 years old, and you're a stay-at-home parent. You're spending all day with your kid anyway. So basically what's happened is, when I used to be a preacher and I'd start off with quoting a scripture, somebody would interrupt me and finish the quote. And I'd look at them, I'm like, okay, so you know that passage. And they're like, oh, yes, amen, I know that passage. Well, do you know that passage? Or because of it's impacting your life, or do you just know the words of it? And the point here is, what is your why? Is your why just words, or can you see your why? Can you see yourself spending more time with your children? And if you can, where? You say at the beach. Okay, we're getting deeper. When? What will you be doing at the beach? You know, taking them on that, what they call them little things that scoot on the water. Them, shit, I'm lost for words. But you're getting my point. Your why has to be strong, because remember when I told you earlier how a lot of people fail because their whys aren't strong enough. I want to spend more time with my spouse. I want my spouse to stay at home with me. Well, I don't know. Some people may love their spouses enough for that, but some of the people that I network with, I can't get along with online, so I'm pretty sure their spouses are glad they have to go to work, but that's not my point. I'm not going there. My point is this. Why do you want your spouse home? You know, what are you going to do all day with your spouse at home because you've made enough money to retire? Say, well, we go out. We go on vacation. Where? Oh, I want to go to Biloxi Beach. Okay, when? In August. Okay, so you want to go with your family to Biloxi Beach in August and spend a weekend? Well, yeah, I'd like to spend Memorial Day weekend. So now we went from spending time with my family to spending time with my family in Biloxi on Memorial Day weekend. And now you have a set goal. Your why has now been locked into a time frame for you to finish and reach that goal. And it becomes more than I just need money, you know, because money's not a strong enough attraction. If money was what you needed, you can get money other places than home networking. All right. Now, here's a really good example. I talked to a couple different groups of people. Number one woman I talked to had 8 primary MLMs. Dorico, did you hear that? 8. When I asked her, what do you do? Who are you with? And she told me, I'm with 8 different companies. I said, 8? No wonder you're not making no money.
Yep, I remember that.
You know, no wonder you're not making any money. Well, what do you mean? Because, see, her philosophy was, if I'm in 8 companies, then I have more things I can offer people. Therefore, the more things I have to offer people, the more likely somebody's going to want one of my offers. But that's not reality. That's not reality. You should, Dorico, how's your voice? Do you feel like taking that one for just a minute on why you cannot have that many MLMs? Or do you want me to just continue? Okay, his voice must be hurting. You spread yourself out. If you're having a hard time, first off, you shouldn't be counting how many products you have to offer. You need to be counting the content that you're putting out. That's number one. The more products you have does not necessarily mean anybody's going to want your products, because you don't know how to prospect or talk to them to make them draw interest in a product. Now, if you only have one MLM that you can focus on, and you can dedicate yourself to learning about that product or about that service or about that company or who the top leaders are, now, say for example, you're with Janess and only Janess, then you can look and see who the top earner is in Janess. You can go to their website and see what it looks like. You can begin to formulate what your website should look like too. Because if he's the top earner and this is what his look like, you're simply going to, what Tony Robbins calls, model. And In modeling, let me go to my next slide. In modeling, you begin to replicate what somebody who's making six figures is doing, the routine that they're in, and you begin to live by that same routine. And like I shared with you what's today, Sunday, so last Thursday, I gave you the routine, the basic routine of every single 6 or 7 figure earner does the exact same thing. And you cannot focus your attention on your routine if your focus is on so many different MLMs. Now, would you have 8 jobs out there in the corporate world? Can you imagine what kind of life you would have to lead to have to be focused on the time frame to get from one job to the next job to the next job? It's the same principle here. You have to concentrate on tasks, and each MLM is pulling you in a different direction, and nothing is getting done. So you got to learn to manage yourself in that time and get rid of the distractions. Get rid of the ones that's not making you any money. Get rid of the ones that you see most out there, and it's just, you just got to make a decision. What's your routine? Is your routine going to stay the same? Or is your routine you're going to say, well, wait a minute, because the routine I'm working, the routine that I worked today didn't get me a sign up, and the routine I worked yesterday didn't get me no leads, and the routine today that I'm working the day before had no results whatsoever. But here's April Marie Tucker, who had absolutely nothing, and she was a cocktail waitress and saved her tips, and she joined My Lead System Pro and learned what the top earners in that company were doing, and she modeled them, and she learned to create one piece of content a day on her Instagram, and she learned the tricks of Instagram. She didn't try to spread herself out. She studied nothing but Instagram, and now she makes $2 million a month because she was focused. She figured out the routine of 5 and 6 figure earners, and then she learned to live by it. Everything else had to wait. Everything else in her life was on schedule, and it wasn't going to be broken. Why? Because her why was strong enough. She wanted to take her family out of the current financial situation she was in and give them a better life, where they could live in a safe community, where they could go on vacations around the world. And when she asked her daughter about getting married, she wanted to be married in Paris. So April Marie Tucker set that as her goal. And her daughter, when she gets married, is going to be married in Paris. She's making sure of it because she's managing herself in time and created a routine, and now she's living by it. And that's what you have to learn to do. You have to learn the routine of a 5 and 6 figure earner, and we discussed that last Thursday, was you pick you a leader that you respect, and you study him. Take 1 hour out of your day and study him. Go to his website. Go to his blog, subscribe to his newsletter, get his newsletter, get a feel for what he's saying, and as you learn from this leader, you begin to create content like him, because your mind is now set like his. And it's not long. It doesn't take long to start seeing the results. I hope, boy, am I preaching to myself, or do I have a congregation here? All right. You're going to succeed in your home business, Susan. The only way that you will succeed is if you find time. Mark, you're going to have to shake it off, as Taylor Swift says, shake it off. and let these distractions get out of your way. You know that you have to cut the grass, so you say, put it on your schedule, cut the grass from 9 to 10. Now, you're not going to be working on an email from that time, and then the grass goes undone. You're going to get out there, cut the grass, because you know at 11 o'clock, I got to finish this, because at 11 o'clock, I got to start my emails. Because at 3 o'clock, I got to go get the kids from school. It's all on my schedule, and I live by my routine. And my routine is going to move me closer to my goals, and my goals are going to move me closer to my vision, and my family is going to benefit. I got a question for you. Isn't it time for you to succeed? I look at the pictures of my beautiful family right here. And I tell you, I'm waiting on my little girl to call me now. That's her right there. She wanted to go to dance, so we put her through dance, and she just won a trophy. And here we are on a vacation in Gulfport, Mississippi. And yeah, that one's in Mississippi too, because we went to Florida at the same time. We just hit both beaches on the same weekend. But that's me. He was surfing, so I bought him a little monster surfboard, and I'm out there on the water teaching him how to surf. And that's me and my wife on the beach. And he wanted to learn how to horseback ride, so we got him there. And here's my beautiful daughter. And I forget what event she was in there, like a school event or something. But it just blesses my heart that money is not my focus, people. If you've told your mentor or your sponsor or your friends or whoever you communicate with, man, I got to start making some money, you're missing the mark. What you need to focus on is, I need to put my daughter through dance. I need to get my wife and my children on the necessary vacation that they've been looking forward to, that we're going to take in August before school starts. So I need to get to work on these emails. I need to get to work on this blog. Am I making sense here? Is that if that's not your goal, if what you're looking at right now on my computer screen, that's my whys, people. I could say, oh, I want to spend time with my kids, but the fact is, this is what I want to do, and this is why I do what I do every day. This is why when I messaged Dorico today and I shared with him that I'm going to have 4 signups by Thursday. And he's like, wow, that's a pretty big order. Well, that's fine, but that's my why. This is why I have to do it. I hope I'm making sense to somebody. Why you are going to succeed in your home business. You have that opportunity tonight. You can make a decision tonight to start managing yourself in the time. And we go back to the slide in just a second, that of the reasons. Tools make your job easier. So you get the right tools. Having a good mentor and a sponsor who's there for you to answer your questions when you have them, instead of you spending uncounted hours like I did before I met Dorico, searching the internet for an answer for days before I finally had it. You know, and that made me lose time. But success leaves clues, people. And oh, I jumped a slide. I'm going to show you again, because I'm proud of what you're looking at. That at one time, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, 4 months ago, I could not get a lead. No matter, I worked 15 to 18 hours clicking away, posting in Facebook groups, not getting anybody to want to buy my products, and I was ready to give up. I was ready to throw the towel in until I met my current sponsor and mentor, Dorico. And through his guidance, Even though I have a hard head, I still listen to him. And now I sponsor one person every 3 days, a residual of $100 per sign up, $1,000 per residual per month is now being added to my bank account at my current level. At my current level. It's fixing to go even better than that. Why? Because I'm learning to manage myself in time even more. I'm learning that YouTube and going and creating graphics is taking up just a little bit too much of my time, and I could be outsourcing these things now, and I could be saving time, and I can allot more time to more money-making activities, which is, when you talk about money-making activities, I've learned this, people. The one money-making activity that should take up 90% of your day, now it may not, because you have to get your foundation started, and the quicker you do that with the right tools and the right mentorship, the more you're able to make this adjustment to where 90% of your day should be networking online, either in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, wherever you market. You be able to interact with people, talk to people, help them solve their problems, become an authority figure to them, and eventually sign them up into your primary MLM. That should take up 90% of your day. And that comes from a 7-figure earner who makes like $3,500 per day on his blog, just his blog. And he just had a product launch. Me and my mentor tried to figure it up, and it was well over $1 million for that one product launch. And that's not counting his $3,500 he's making on his blog. So when he tells me that 90% of my day needs to be prospecting, networking, and getting in these groups and talking to people and becoming an authority figure to them, I think I need to listen to him, because he's making some serious money that can fulfill even a wider vision for me than what I currently have. So since I've met that man and set up under his feet and I'm learning his techniques, my vision is now expanding. So I need more than one person every 3 days. I need at least a person every other day, and eventually I want at least one person a day. That's 30 people a month. That's 3,000 residual coming into my bank account every month. And it's possible, people. It's possible. But it can never be possible for you if you can't learn the simple practice of not time management, but management of yourself in time. Is your Facebook tab still on? All right. I'm able to do that. How did I do that? I'm able to do that because I have the right tools. I have the right mentors, and I am in the right team. I say that I have the right tools because I joined My Lead System Pro at the bequest of my mentor, who shared with me that it was only $10 for 10 days, and if I didn't like it, well then bless God, all I had to do was tell them on the 9th day, I don't like your crap, give me my $10 back. And they're not going to argue with me. If I wanted my $10 back on the 9th day, they say, there you go. You know, sorry you don't see the value of our company. But everybody that's in it's practically a 6-figure earner. Boy, if y'all could only if y'all would come to the Wednesday night webinars and hear what these people have to teach us. It's amazing. The tools that I love creating graphics. And last Wednesday night, Stephen and his wife got on there and showed us how to make a particular graphic that usually takes me half a day. was accomplished in 5 minutes. They showed me how to leverage my time by using the right tools. These are my mentors, people, and I'm on the right team. They're the best in the world, and you may recognize a few of them. Bill and Michelle Pesco-Scalito, Facebook marketing masters. They have made more money marketing on Facebook than anybody on the planet. You got Rob Ford, who when he started with My Lead System Pro, and now he has six-figure businesses. Now 6 times 6 is 36. So that's $3.6 million businesses that he's built since he's been with My Lead System Pro. Behind this, and I'm going to have to move that damn best in the world out of the way, because Rob Higdon is behind him, behind the words, and he's $3,500 a day. I bought his series on sponsoring secrets for $97. People, listen to me. I didn't have $97 at the time. But when I was told this is the last course you'll ever need, I found the $97. I made a sacrifice. I told my wife we just have to do it, because they've told me this is the last course I'll ever have to buy. And I bought it. And I'll be damned if it wasn't everything I've been told and more. What that man teaches you to say to a prospect, one aspect, I'll just throw it out there. One aspect is called the irresistible challenge. That when you ask this question, they can't help but tell you yes. Now, what would it be worth to you if you could learn one question that you could ask a prospect and they could not help themselves? They had to tell you yes. They wanted to see what your offer was and eventually sign up with you. How much would that be worth to you? Ray Higdon taught me that, and I am now signing up one person every 3 days because I've learned that process that he's taught. And you got David Wood, who's created a mega empire from blogging. Tracy Walker, Diane Hotchman. Diane came into My Lead System Pro, and because of all the people that was before her, and her sitting under her feet, not giving up and reading and learning everything that she could that they taught, she has overtaken them now, and she sits at the top of the leadership board. So you can come in like me at the bottom, and then within a year, she has overtaken the best and is now sitting at the top because she's learned their principles and implemented them. Then you have Frank and Mark, YouTube, 14,000 or 8,000 leads? It's 14,000 leads in 8 months. Now what could you do with that? 18,000 leads in 8 months. 14,000 leads in 8 months. Do you not think that these men have something? My YouTube channel, I spared y'all today by showing y'all my social proof, but my YouTube channel has gotten almost 2,000 hits in 7 weeks, 2,000 views in 7 weeks, because I've listened to what these men had to say. They're the best in the world. Therefore, they're the best mentors that you could possibly have. They teach you the right tools to use, and they give you the education. They give you Facebook marketing training, Twitter marketing training, LinkedIn, meetup groups, Instagram, Google+, whatever social platform you want to study. These 5, 6, and 7-figure earners who's paved the road before me have put a video in the back of the office and said, Bubby, if you want to do what we do, all you got to do is watch the video and then do it. So I have, and my results are starting to show. You have that same opportunity tonight. You can turn your business around. You cannot struggle tomorrow with finding a lead. You cannot wonder, when am I going to start making money? How long is it going to take before I can finally get somebody to sign up under me? These questions could be answered for you tonight, right now, by coming and joining us for 10 days for $10 and sit at these masters' feet. I signed somebody up today. I signed Heather. I hope she's here tonight. Heather, I took on a tour of my back office, and I showed her the education. I said, pick one. Pick any video you want to look at. I said, pick a subject, and she picked one. And I typed it in. I said, webinars. Awesome. Let me type in webinars. And 40 videos on webinar training come up, and I could choose whichever leader in the industry that I wanted to study that day. I said, well, what about lead generation? You having problems with leads? Yeah, okay. Well, there's 43 videos that teach you lead generation. Typed it in, looked at it, 43 videos come up, and I could choose, was I going to learn how to get leads by Rob Ford, by the Pescascolitas, by Justice Egden, by Diane Hotchman, by David Wood. It just goes on and on. 5, 6, and 7-figure earners who've put their videos and their trainings back there for me to watch free. Just take the 10-day drive for $10. What other mentors could you possibly need? Oh, and like my friend, I call him my friend now, my sponsor, my mentor, and my friend like to say, well, my friend said this is a con. You mean to tell me you're going to listen to your broke-ass friend on making a financial decision for the rest of your life to benefit your family? Somebody who's not doing anything with their life? Come on, man. I got friends like that. Oh, you going for that scam, ain't that the pyramid scheme? Pyramid scheme? If it's a pyramid scheme, I'm enjoying the climb to the top. I don't know how I ended up getting into the scheme part of the situation, but I know the money's coming to me. So if you want to call that a pyramid scheme, you stay broke. I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying myself, people, helping people. Everybody's here tonight practically because I've reached out on Facebook. Some people may have straggled in, but because somebody needed something on Facebook, I don't care if it was a simple like on your post. When I like your post, and then my group comes behind me and likes your post, Facebook stops and goes, well, wait a minute, that post must be pretty good. It must have some value to it for that many, for people to be liking it and commenting on it. So we're going to give it a little boost and let other people see it. And that's how come you're starting to see, instead of 3 or 4 people viewing your post, you've got starting to see 18 to 25 people seeing your post, which is your products and your services. And the more people that's out there seeing your products and services, the more money you're going to make. And I do that by going and liking people's posts just simply because you're a marketer and I care. I'll sit there and tell a unique distributor. My wife likes unique, so I'll type in when I see a unique product that she uses. I say, oh, my wife loves your product. Now, they misunderstand that and think that it's oh, you want to buy something? No, I'm just, showing your post some love so that Facebook will give you a little boost and show it to more people. And other people will see my comment and they'll be interested and say, well, what is this product? And then you might make a sale. So I'm just showing some love. I love helping people. And if you, 10 days for $10, you get all of this education right here, taught by the best in the world. And I have created a Freedom Action Plan. I send to all of my downline. And it's an email that they receive every day, every morning. And it is a step-by-step process of what I'm doing. It is a step-by-step process of what I say to prospects to get them to buy my stuff. And also, I've created the prospector's cheat sheet. It's a list of questions that when you call your prospect, here's a list of questions that you should ask them that's going to help you gain an insight into their mind to know exactly when you should present your offer. You get that absolutely free, or $27 value. The Freedom Action Plans, $197 value. And if you sign up tonight for $10 and take the 10-day test drive, you get a 30-minute coaching call, $50 value, free. 197, 2750, Freedom Action Plan, Prospectors Cheat Sheet, and 30-minute coaching call to help you get your business on the right track for $10 for 10 days. And people, if you need leads, it's not called My Lead System Pro for nothing. I love My Lead System Pro. They turned my life around. They have made this old country boy a very happy country boy. And as my daddy used to say, money can't make you happy, son, but it'll put a hell of a grin on your face. And I am smiling like a dog today because I have met the people who have changed my life, and those that come under me and do My Lead System Pro, Susan. MLSP stands for My Lead System Pro. It's not a primary business. It's an educational form, like I was sharing with you earlier, that these 5, 6, and 7-figure earners. For example, Ray Higdon, before he started, he was in foreclosure and he was ashamed, and somebody would pull into his driveway and he would peek out his window to see if it was the bank man or the sheriff with the eviction notice and foreclosure notices on his house, throw him out of his house because he didn't want to answer the door. And he was ashamed. And one day he was having a barbecue and he had his parents over. They were out back. Him and his dad was out back and his mom was inside, and the knock on the door. And when she opened the door, the man handed her the papers, and she come back out to the backyard and she's got foreclosure papers going, son, what is this about? And how embarrassed he was. You ought to hear this man's story. I mean, he was broke, people. He was broke like me. I was a construction worker who got injured, and because of that injury got laid off. And then I went through wanting to do this home business network, getting scammed, not knowing what I was doing, turned to a complete stranger who I saw his consistency every day, Dorico Cherry. Every day he was posting a video, he was posting a blog, and I thought to myself, well, this man has got to know what he's doing if he's got this much stuff going on. So I reached out to him and I asked him for some help, and he introduced me to My Lead System Pro. And like I shared with the slide, they're not called My Lead System Pro for nothing. I started generating leads the same day. Then I found out the next problem, which was last week or week before last. Hey, Melissa, I'm glad to see you joined us. I started getting leads, and I go, well, now what do I do with them? And, of course, my mentor forever got me under his wing, saying, okay, this is what you do after you get a lead. And eventually, I have grown to the point of where now I host this webinar, and he is with me, and we reach out and help even more people this way. And it's just amazing. Like I said, money can't make you happy, but it'll put a hell of a grin on your face. And that's all I got, Dorico. Do you have any?